Okay, it's 4th of July time. Great time to talk about relationships, don't you think? Relationships and sexuality. Now, that in itself is a Christian concept, because plenty of people, they have sexuality without relationships. What do they need relationships for? All kind of sexuality without relationships. Gosh. So, I was talking to someone just recently, and she was saying, I was saying to her, well, there are younger guys who really like older women. And she said, oh, that's because they have mommy issues. That is so right out of the mouth of Freud, who he had his Oedipus complex thing that he believed in. And it's, because a mind like that, everything is shallow and sexual. And so, he's saying any connection there is between a person and the opposite sex parent, well, that's incestuous. And then he's saying that he had this theory about males. They want their mother. Well, the thing is, a discerning mind knows the opposite sex parent has something to do with your opposite sex relationship and with your sexuality. That does not make it an incestuous relationship. Doesn't mean that you want sex with your opposite sex parent, but I'm sure they think that everything's about sex. It's about sex. You do want sex with your opposite sex parent. You want sex with everybody. I had this wonderful mentor, prayer warrior in the Twin Cities, wonderful man. I still am trying to remember all he said about where he came from, but anyway, he was a psychologist as well as a pastor, and I went to see him at his psychology office, as well as went to see him at his church where he ministered out of. And he was a wonderful man who knew how to put the devil on the run, man. He was great. And when I saw him at his office, he said to me that people, their opposite sex parent does have a lot to do with their relationships. And he said they'll either pick a type or antitype of their opposite sex parent in who they are interested in. And right then I knew I was picking antitypes of my dad, it was partly negative because the people I had picked didn't have his good qualities. But there were things about him that I wanted to avoid too. So the thing is, that's not talking about incest, but he was saying that there's a big influence that the opposite sex parent has on a person's relationships, and it doesn't make it incestuous. So then, now talking about age difference, a younger woman with an older man, does she want her dad? My dad said about my sister, she married an older man. He said, well, I think she always was trying to fill a void because of what was missing in her life with me. Well, maybe, but that still doesn't mean she wanted sex with her dad, But there can be a lot of reasons why a person's attracted to somebody older. So I was saying to her, there are younger men who find older women attractive. I don't think that's because they want their mom or that they have mommy issues. And it's insulting. It's insulting to males. But what I think is important is the maturity level be the same, which is exactly why I think some people who are older, they pick younger people who are on their maturity level. They're only on the same level as them maturity-wise. When I was younger, I was attracted to people like guys right out of high school. I was on that same level of maturity when I was like that. So now I'm definitely attracted to more mature men, and I'm glad, because I know that it's a growth and improvement in my life. Like, I'm definitely not attracted to people who are that young and that immature. But I think the important thing in relationships is that there be a same maturity level, which hopefully not in a negative way, but also that you're not exploiting someone. That the older person isn't exploiting the younger person. That it's not about that person is an independent, self-realized, and self-reliant person before getting into a relationship. And I think if those factors are in place, then there's nothing wrong with there being an age difference. And I don't think that you have to talk about mommy issues or daddy issues, you know, because I don't even know if that would necessarily be true. My sister who married this guy, I knew him, and he was a nice guy, and he was, I mean, I could see why she'd like him and why. Anyway, so that's all I had to say about that.